PES 2020 myClub squad builder with Jurgen Klopp, the most recent club that showed up between, I think it was between the 12th of October until the 17th, was the Klopp with NATO SS, which you are able to change them into 3CF. And these NATO thieves are effective in the game with quick passing. However, usually this formation is going to be more effective. The 3CF is more effective if you have an option with the AMF. Obviously, if by default the managers, the center midfielders are not above the center line, you can't change them into AMF. However, it's still a good formation. I mean, another manager that I can mention who has 3CF and an AMF is this guy right here, Kunyan. But his defensive instruction is terrible. Wide containment and low compactness is to avoid. You're going to be open down the middle. It's not consistent. His defensive instruction is a bit okay. So let's talk about Klopp and let's do the squad builder forward. Obviously, I do have the squad ready-made to save a little bit of time. And in the meantime, remember, we have the brand new squad builder on PESUniverse and player database. We're going to add player level as well, as you can see in this video in the background. Make sure to check the squad builder on PESUniverse as well. It's beautiful. Everything is like realistically being captured, not captured, but it's similar to the in-game, and you can save your squad and then load it later on. But to come back to the squad builder, in my opinion with Klopp 433, remember, just because somebody's using a manager that he's doing good with it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do good as well, because we all have different abilities, different teams, different vision, different you know, mentality, different rage meter in a way, you know. So take that into consideration. A manager like Klopp with high defensive line and frontline pressure and aggressive, if you have slow defenders, it's not going to work out. Even if you use deep defensive line advanced instructions, it's not going to be consistent. At the moment, this squad builder is based on the October, the first release, like the late October patch is not being released yet. So after that, things change. I will update you guys. So, as you can see, ideally, you want to have with the squad builder with Klopp or any other manager if you're using 4 at the back, ideally you want to have a tall and strong one with fast and mobile. But hey, I mean, it's a bonus to have a tall guy who's fast as well. For you fullback, obviously you have a choice. A lot of people use attack and fullback, but I'm not going to get into advanced instructions because I have a video regarding advanced instructions. You can check that out. In my opinion, it's not that, hey, I'm using this manager, what advanced instructions shall I use? Advanced instructions, it's not a must. It's an option if your manager or if your tactic, your players lack certain tactical aspect, you can use the advanced instructions. Or against certain people, you know, for example, if somebody's spamming me on the left, I will put defense on PESUniverse. If somebody's coming down the middle, or for example, against Santos, I always man mark the AMF. I will have a video talking about man marking and tight marking as well. So as you can see, if I use a formation with a single DMF, ideally has to be an anchor man. But at the moment, really, any tall midfielder who has a little bit of a defensive attribute and who's reasonably fast. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm not going to run with my DMF. Sure, but when you don't have the ball, if your DMF is fast, he can cover back spaces to defend. So, yeah, sure, you can use defense on him as well. But again, most of the time, even with the defense on a DMF, he still joins attack. So ideally, you have a choice with Klopp 433. By the way, if you have Klopp with wingers, not 3CF, reasonably, whatever I'm saying will apply with a little bit of a difference, which I will mention. Ideally, you have a choice. You go for powerhouse midfield. What I mean by that, like for example, an anchorman. Kante box to box, which he defends as good as a center back. If you want a powerhouse midfield, you want to be solid in the midfield, you can go anchorman, destroyer, or 2 destroyers, or anchorman, destroyer, box to box. But usually, it's very hard to find a destroyer, especially a destroyer with a good passing. For example, this guy, he's a goal player, right? I mean, I can supersize this team and use higher-rated players, but it's all about a balanced team, individual players for individual formations that you use. It's not just about using 18 superstars. You don't need that shit. So for this guy, for example, Zubin, I mean, for a player who's a destroyer, he's tall, go decent ball control, which is very important. For players, if you're looking for players who you can trust them on the ball for slow dribbling, a combination of ball control and tight position is important. And of course, the physical contact and balance. So this guy can run, he can create, he can defend. I mean, look at that defensive attribute. So I call players like that more of a powerhouse. But for me, when I use 3 at the back, I go for more technical midfield. Because with technical midfielders, they have high tight position, they have better passing, and they have better dribbling. For example, I use Toni Kroos or I use Verratti. I trust these guys on the ball. I trust them with their... they may not offer a lot of defensive options, and they're usually slow players, but their position is good. So personally, I go for technical midfields, or you can combine them. You can have your DMF to be an orchestrator, and your other midfielder could be a high-skilled dribbler box to box. So that just depends on a personal preference. So this is my squad builder with Klopp, and I've been doing okay with it. The advanced instructions that I use right now, really, again, it just depends. I'm going to give you a kind of a beginner advanced instructions and then a more advanced one. Now, ideally, as I said, you need your fullback to support the midfield, okay? You can't just go down the middle. Good players will figure it out. I see a lot of people using defense on both fullbacks. Well, you have to be really good, dependent on only 3 players to attack, because you most likely get isolated if you don't have support from your fullback. And sometimes you need that wide option with Klopp being 3 strikers. Usually I use defense on DMF and 1 fullback. Whichever side my opponent is spamming, I use defense on it. And that's pretty much, and maybe counter target on one of the strikers. That's pretty much what I use. If somebody's coming down the middle too much, I use swarm the box. But of course, if you use swarm the box too much, you're going to give your opponent a lot of space to take shots outside the box. And surprisingly, shooting outside the box goes in more than in the box. Now, for more of an advanced instructions, I usually go for anchoring on excuse me. I go for anchoring on both flank strikers and then counter target on both flank strikers as well. Now, that kind of does restrict me, okay? It means I'm going to be focusing down the middle too much, just give and go down the middle. And I usually hate to stick to one plan. I use like different formations every time on a live stream, even though I'm not 100% focused. I like to play different ways and show the people a different way of playing. If I stick to one formation and play the same way every day, like just turn, shield, pass, shoot, run, I won't enjoy it to play like that, even if it gives me consistency. So obviously, when you have all your advanced instructions booked, you can use defense, you can use deep defensive line if you need it. But this is more of a, you will have 2 players at least constantly pressing up front and constantly being there. The only disadvantage is you have a big space here. And most people bypass the midfield anyway. You know, one direct pass from midfield to striker and then give and go 1-2, boom, done. Or you have another option. You can turn this into a diamond and make it something like this. Or you can make it into a shape of Carlo Ancelotti's famous Christmas tree, which he destroyed Europe a couple of years back. You can shape it into something like that as well. So just personal preference. Let me know if you are consistent with it and what advanced structures are you using with Klopp. And in the meantime, if you are using Klopp with wingers, Klopp in real life uses false 9. Use Firmino as a false 9. Firmino drops, Salah and Mane comes in. That could be ideal as well. But you can only get away using a striker as a false 9 if you had good tight position and you can, you know, give him the ball, shield, turn, and spread the ball. And he has to have good passing. One of the best strikers, superstars in the game who has high passing is Benzema, Lewandowski. I think Firmino's passing is exceptional. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if you have flanks with Klopp, if you're playing against Santos, just use counter on both flank and play wide. Do not go down the middle too much against Santos, because Santos is all about suffocating you, stealing the ball off you in your own half, and then countering you. If I forgot anything, let me know. What other managers you want to see squad builder with? Comment down below. If you get at least 100 likes on this video, I'm going to continue making more squad builders. I think next I can do a squad builder with Gasperini, since I've been very consistent with it recently. The only reason I'm going Gasperini just to dominate Santos. I don't like to, if you can't beat them, join them. I have Santos and I don't use it because I'm sick and tired to play against it. And finally, ideally, again, do you know what? I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to make that. I'm going to leave that for the next video, talking about why 352 will dominate the Diamond Santos pressure whore. Till next time, I've been Sep. Ciao for now. If you enjoyed the video, Make sure share, like, and subscribe. Support it.